briefly,
Uh-huh.
tell us about your trip and where have you been all this time?
Thanks for asking. In the middle of February, I've been to Singapore and Indonesia, Jakarta. And that was my first visit for both of cities and countries. And I stayed 2 nights each, 2 nights in Jakarta and 2 nights in Singapore. And that was my business trip actually, but I experienced many things on my day, on my business, on my trip, on my trip. Yeah, I ate many food. I ate many places. I enjoy communicating local persons as well, and I struggle to catch up English accents there. Like that, very productive days I spent that place.
So, as far as talking about Indonesia and Singapore,
Yep.
what's the difference between those two countries, and what are the similarities?
That is a great question because firstly, the distance from Jakarta in Indonesia from Singapore is just about 2 hours by a plane. Okay.
Okay.
But I say they are totally different world because I visited Jakarta first, and after 2 days in Jakarta, I moved to Singapore, and that experience was, completely amazing experience because Jakarta is an amazing place. I love Indonesia, but after that, I moved to Singapore just in 2 hours. Totally different world. I couldn't believe even this small area, different world like that. Singapore is an amazing city, totally developed. Cities are very clean, and people are like completely mixed cultures. Whole Asia, like they are Singaporean, Malaysian, Korean, Chinese, Indian as well, and some Western people. So that was unique point I feel. And whereas Indonesia, Jakarta was a great place. They have kind of good atmosphere, like hilarious feeling, kind of resort feeling, I feel.
Okay.
It's, especially for the center city of Jakarta, a completely developed city, I feel. Even the outside of Jakarta is still developing, but I say it's great thing. Many factory or many building are still under developing, so we can feel, we can expect economical developing coming years. Yeah, like that. That is my lovely feeling about that city.
Oh, you talked about the, overall difference between those two cities. What about people? You mentioned, of course, the cross-cultural thing happening in Singapore, but what's the difference between people who live in Jakarta and in Singapore?
Generally speaking, the people in Jakarta are mostly, Muslim person, like same as your country. So,
So yeah, you said Muslim, yeah?
Muslim.
Yeah, okay, yeah, thank you.
And I say, to be honest, okay, our lifestyle between Muslim people and us, Japanese, are different, okay? Different spending nighttime while, we drink beer, but they don't. We go such a place, but they don't like that. But personally, I like Muslim person because they are very honest and good feeling they have. So I love them. While I feel our differences between their culture and our culture. That is my feeling about Indonesian people.
So what about Singapore? So is there like a significant difference between those people? Like you could easily distinguish a Singaporean from Indonesian?
Yes. Because not only Indonesian, but also Singaporean are quite unique people in Asia. Because, yeah, I don't know how to say, but yeah. It's, you know, when speak about Asian people, including you and me, it's kind of Asia. I mean, distinguished from Western world, right? But
yes,
Singaporean or Singapore, not like that. I can't say it's Asian world. It's like intermediate between Western and Asia. So Singaporean people, so yeah, they have even say Singaporean, they have kind of Chinese aspect or Malaysian aspect, and also Western aspect. Even says that they have completely own unique feeling.
So
yeah,
as far as I know, like I know that Singapore is very developed, and you know, judging by your speech about those both two cities, seems like you liked Singapore more than Jakarta, Indonesia.
It depends of the purpose when you go to those cities. If you visit Singapore on business for such a purpose, that is great. But for vacation, I feel Jakarta is better than Singapore.
And
it's my honest feeling.
Yeah. And you know, I'm still a little bit confused because Singapore is a country, right? But also is a city, right? Pardon me for my lack of knowledge, but there are no other cities in Singapore, are there?
To be honest, I didn't have such a specific knowledge. But
so,
like I said,
it's the same, you know. The same.
It's overall, you're right, because Singapore was a part of city in Malay Peninsula. That was just a city until 60 years ago, but it turned into one country.
Yeah. One thing I like about Singapore is their strict laws for drug transportation and transfers, and everything is connected to drugs. They are extremely strict about it. And as far as I'm concerned, people can even have the death penalty if they find some drugs. Like no matter what, like if you're a citizen of the Singapore, if you're coming from other country, still you can be severely punished for that. And I feel like that has helped the development of Singapore a lot. Not only that, but also their politics for inviting international companies to and giving them good conditions to strive in those places, having low taxes for business and everything else, made this country, in my opinion, a superpower. I wish, our country, Kazakhstan, was that developed, and we have made right decisions throughout the history. It's not too late. We still have lots of resources, and it's just that people who are making decisions, in my humble opinion, could do those things way better. One of the things that is what I like about Singapore is that they are not only their stance and attitude towards drugs, but also their attitude towards corruption. So, I mean, they have very strict rules. If they catch somebody, bribing somebody, so like everything that is involved with dishonest money, basically, has very dangerous consequences for somebody who is doing those illegal actions. Here, what I can say about corruption, probably Kazakhstan is one of the standing on top of corrupt countries.
Wow.
Not in the world, but maybe in the region,
Okay.
And you will meet it from top to bottom, from highest places to the lowest. Anything can be solved with money. And that's obviously, I don't want to speak only negativity about my country, and there are a lot of positive things, but this is one aspect that we could take from Singapore and from Japan as well. The attitude towards corruption. Actually, I don't know the situation about corruption in Japan. Is it present, and how much? If yes,
it's so hard to answer such questions, because nowadays it's not corruption, but illegal tax. How should I say? Illegal tax deleting, kind of that. Do you know what I mean?
Maybe tax people who people who evade taxes, like they don't pay them.
Simply put, yes, the politicians doesn't pay. Specific part of politician doesn't pay taxes properly.
Okay.
On their political activities, like that. That was it's a current big situation in Japanese politicians, and I say it's kind of libelling or corruption, part of it. So in Japan, the situation is quite rare, like people giving money like on the table, like that. It's quite rare nowadays. But other aspect of corruption are still happening, I feel, or revealing. Yeah.
So, like this situation for us is completely opposite. It's extremely common, and if anything you want to get, let's say you want to get even a PhD for something.
Okay.
So you can find a person who can give you like a PhD easily, just pay money, and all your problems are solved. You are having troubles with police, let's say. Imagine you broke some rules on the road, and the road police stops you. And they can, like, it's so common nowadays that they will expect you already to bribe them. They come to you and they look at you a certain way, and then you understand like what they want, and people give them money. And even it got to a point where they, for example, you're on the highway, and they put a sign. Usually on the highway you are driving on a high speed, like let's say 100 kilometers minimum.
Yes.
But the road police puts like, a sign that you should drive only 40 kilometers in this area. And they like, they hunt, they stop, and then they loot money this way. So this is what's happening. And I don't, one day this podcast may become very popular, and a lot of people might hear the situation, what's happening in Kazakhstan. And, some people in Kazakhstan may be angry with me for telling such things to international audience.
Okay.
But,
okay.
We have to deal with reality, and that's what's happening. A lot of corruption in every single place we can imagine. So, yeah.
Wow, I never imagined that. Never imagined such a situation happened in Kazakhstan.
So, yeah, we quickly got from Singapore, Indonesia to corruption. So that's what I like about Singapore and about Japan. Your culture just like really doesn't allow you to do such things. And I wish one day we would come close to that, So.
Okay.
Yeah.
Right. But it's about, living in Japan, we are, it's quite less opportunity to facing such a corruption situation. But yeah, I don't know the reason why such corruption happened in in Asian, including a country. Maybe there's a reason based on it, behind on it. Why people do that? But it's very simple, because if politician found that corruption, they will be fired, right? But very dangerous challenge. But how come they do that?
Yeah, I mean, in the highest places, it has become a common knowledge that politicians in our countries, in the CIS region, all of them combined, people in the highest places who have, a lot of access to resources, they simply just steal this money with no shame, and there is no way to check it. Like the only way how we can see why it's happening is the living situation of general citizens in our countries. Most of us, we live not in great conditions, simply put that. I mean, imagine, like there was a statistic that more than half of our income, salary, monthly salary, people in Kazakhstan, more than half spent on food. Can you imagine?
Okay.
More than half of our salary goes to just buy food. What's that? And then, like, we also have to pay rent, bills, taxes, everything else. It adds up. Like, now we have no money to travel, nothing, nowhere to go. So I sometimes wonder how we still survive under those conditions. But the ironic situation is that our land is extremely large, as you could see, like on the map. A lot of land, very few people living here, and lots of resources on this land.
Amazing.
Like we have, Mendeleev chemical table. Yeah, we have all the elements from Mendeleev.
Really?
Yes. Yes, Lily. So, and looking at this, so having so many resources and including oil. We have lots of oil from Caspian Sea. Another resource, like we, our farming industry as well could be very developed. Like if you come to Kazakhstan, you would notice that our milk or milk products, cheese, cottage cheese, whatever, sour cream, everything made out of milk is really high quality. And meat as well, like really high quality. But still, why the situation of general population doesn't become better? So the question arises, and then, we here and there get some news that, this guy stole, I don't know, 10 billion from the budget and then fled to another country. This guy has been hiding his properties in, I don't know, in Europe, and there are so many people and we can't catch them all. And, again, it's from top to bottom. I'm not saying that regular people like me are innocent, I'm sorry for my rant.
No,
speaking so much, but that we are innocent. Of course, we are not innocent. It happens, as I said, from the lowest places to the highest. So, and I always, I could see that in my own life very well. You don't have to go very far. You just let's say you study in the college or university. The same thing happens. A lot of corruption, bribery, and anybody can get anything. You just have to pay money, and they will close their eyes on things that happen there. And what to say about people who have access to the resources. Of course they will do the same. So it's just like the level of corruption just increases, but the core stays the same. People have this kind of mentality that needs to be fixed. And yes, so regular people are also in many ways corrupt, and I don't know when this problem will be solved, to be honest. So yeah, that's it.
Back to your first part of your story. I heard about, I don't mention specifically, but one of CIS country, I had such a same story about that. Like one Japanese company tried to invest factory or some technology in one of CIS countries, but that wasn't happen because in the end, the guy in the country require, money from on the table like that.
That was Kazakhstan, 100%.
Really?
I heard something about, there was a story. So you remember we talked about city Almaty.
Almaty.
Suggested, yeah. So
yes.
Yeah, beautiful city, mountains, everything else, but it has some ecological problems. So there is an area in the city where a lot of smoke is being collected, because of the factories, everything else. And this is not ideal condition, obviously. And then good people from Japan saw this situation and they offered us to reduce, this problem, to reduce the smoke in the city and to, make our city cleaner and basically get rid of the smoke. So, but in return, they asked to, so they were offering some kind of filters, but this smoke contained some kind of element. I don't know which, but in return, they asked like if we could collect this element from the smoke.
Mm.
And our guys just said, you don't give us money, we don't do. We don't agree. And yeah, it's just could make everybody's lives much better. But because of greed, it didn't happen. So yeah.
Maybe this is quite hot topic for especially Japanese business guys, because now we have some business news in Japan, like some companies relating to energy industries trying to expand their business into Kazakhstan or like surrounding countries.
Yep.
And their main aim is, why is that? Green energy generating system like that. Generating energy from window or from like that. And I saw one of news is that they're trying to expand their very huge window energy system into Kazakhstan like that.
Yep.
And I feel, wow, this is great, because I believe Kazakh people are great. They have great landmass too, enough landmass too. So if Kazakh and Japan had a great relationship going forward, both business growing very well. I fell until heard your story.
Yes, it breaks my heart. I'm just, I'm sorry, but
no, sorry.
It could be much better. And, if I were, somebody in a power like a president, I don't know if president makes any decisions actually, but anyway, if I had a power to, form any kind of international relationships with other countries, the first country I would think about would be Japan. Like I would think we need to have great relationships with those guys. Like with Japan, let's have the best relationships with them than with anybody else. That's what I would do.
It's great to hear, but what attracts you? What of Japanese aspect attracts you?
Oh man, so we spoke.
Sorry, this is too big question for you.
I can answer this question very simply. The expectations are met. If we have a deal about something, I can be 100% sure that everything will be met from Japan's side, like from Japanese person. If we have an agreement, this agreement will be fulfilled, and nobody will scam nobody. With Kazakh, it's like it's like Russian roulette. You never know where the bullet is.
Okay.
So one day the thing could be great. Another day, a person can be bamboozled. So yeah. Okay. So that's what attracts me from Japanese people.
That is very great to hear. Because I don't have proper word, but to be honest, Japanese, especially for economic, getting losing against China, against Korea, other countries like India, Malaysia as well. And the main reason is price. We can't compete with them.
Price. I see.
Basically Japanese is why is that? Our main focus is industry, right? Making stuff and exporting stuff. Okay.
Yep.
20 years ago, there are almost no competitors in the world market. Maybe America or Mexico factory of America, like that. So
Yep.
we could compete with them on the quality issue.
Yeah.
Even the price is a little higher than that. But now, after 20 years, our price between China or our price between Korea are completely different. Not only twice,
Yeah.
but triple, like that.
So
It's triple. Okay. I'm
you know,
I'm in manufacturing industry for 7 or 8
Yeah.
years already. And every time I feel Japanese product is triple price against China, against Korea.
yeah, I see. But this is completely justified. Come like I am another reason why I like Japan so much is that you guys are making quality stuff, and everybody knows that. When there is a mark made in Japan, everybody knows this thing is robust and it will not break, it will work fine, and will serve you almost a lifetime. And I have so many things from Japan. My camera is recording. The Sony camera, Japan. I have another camera, Fuji. And then my recorder is Zoom, again, in Japan. My guitars, Japan.
Okay.
The speakers I have, Yamaha, Japan again. So a lot of things from Japan, and I love it. So I wish, Japanese people would never compromise on quality. Like whatever the price would be, at least from my position, I am a single person, but whenever I have an opportunity and resource and money, I would prefer Japanese product over any other. So, yeah, and I hope the economic situation and the prices going down because of the China would not affect Japanese quality. I hope this never happens. If this happens, would be my worst nightmare.
Yep. I want to. Yeah. Great feedback. I want all Japanese to hear this story. Wow, people outside Japan still love quality. This is very important for us.